Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the four-game Wednesday NBA slate, starting at 4 p.m. on Draftkings, and then Fanduel also starts at 4. So let's get started. As always, please hit the like button down below and subscribe if you have not already. So today we have the Pacers have listed a lot of their players questionable, and they've already listed T.J. Warren out. We've seen a lot of teams do this, and usually when they have done this, all the guys that they've listed questionable have sat. So I'm under the assumption that the Pacers are just going to be resting Brogdon and Turner and Oladipo. This is the first game of the night, so we will know, hopefully in a couple hours. But that's just my guess that they're going to be resting, the 4 out of the 5 starters, and Aaron Holiday, the young kid, will still be in there. And then the Sixers rested all their starters yesterday, minus Shake Milton, and then they're on a back-to-back, so they should all be back in there. Embiid's status is up in the air. I don't know if he's going to play because he was the one dealing with a legitimate injury with his ankle. If he is not in, then it's just going to be kind of how it was against the 2 days ago when they were facing the Blazers. So you can kind of look at that. And then besides that, then you should get like good minutes for Al Horford at center. He played only 22 minutes, but that's because he was in heavy foul trouble. He had 3 fouls early in the second quarter, so he only played, I believe he played under 10 minutes in the first half against Portland. Finished with 5 fouls, but he should be in there a lot more, especially as I do not think Embiid will be back. At least, they probably just want to save Embiid for the playoffs at this point, if he can be ready for that. And then there's not much other injury news as of now on the other 2 games. The Heat, Kelly Olynyk is questionable or probable, so that's good. And then Steven Adams, we don't really know the status of him or Noel, but I expect Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to be back, Danilo Gallinari. So they should be back with the other guys, and I'm assuming that Adams will be back, but we don't know. Hopefully, we'll get that news by 4 p.m. Maybe not. And then the last game has no injury news right now. Hopefully, it stays that way. We know that both teams like to play some games, especially Doc Rivers. But right now, starting off at point guard, we have James Harden without Russell Westbrook is going to be the guy that you want to pay up for. Obviously, if you look at the rates with him, for him without Russell Westbrook, they are amazing. Coming off a pretty disappointing game last time Westbrook was out, only put up 60 fantasy points, which is disappointing for Harden, not disappointing for any other player. But without Westbrook, we are normally expecting 70 plus out of Harden. And it's against a Pacers team. If they're missing all their guys, then it's not going to be as tough a matchup as it looks. And then we have Jamal Murray at 7,000. Looks decent against the Clippers. Tougher matchup, but the Nuggets only played their starters 25 minutes. After the double overtime game against Utah, we could see. I really don't know what Mike Malone's going to do, but I don't know if these teams want to play all their guys, they can. If not, then we could just see them play half the game. I think that since they only played half last game, then they're probably going to play at least a full rotation this time out. And then we have Kendrick Nunn is questionable. I don't know if he'll be back. He had to quarantine himself. Chance he returns either today or Friday. He's missed some time, so he might not be in best shape. So Dragic will probably see a good run again. Put up 34 fantasy points, even though only shot 5 of 16. I like him again today at this cheap price point. But right now, I'm just assuming that the Pacers, they've already listed Warren out. I'm assuming that the other guys are going to be out too that are questionable. It's tough not to like Aaron Holiday at 4,600. If you take all those Pacers off the court, Holiday averages is 1.11 fantasy points per minute, leads the team with a 26% usage rate. 4,600, if he plays 30 minutes, he's with all those. If all those guys do indeed miss, then he's going to be one of the better value plays on the slate. So, like Aaron Holiday. And then at shooting guard, we have James Harden. Jimmy Butler looks really solid. And then for cheap plays, you have Josh Richardson, decent value play, 57. The Raptors will probably get Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet back in this one, so not that interested in Norman Powell. McLemore's up to 5,000. I'm not paying that much for him. Rivers is priced up as well. So not too many cheap options at this position. You could look at maybe some of the Pacers, like Justin Holiday at 3,600. But I will be going with James Harden. He's going to be the guy that you want to spend up for. Over at small forward, we have Kawhi Leonard, 95. That's a big price tag for Kawhi. Can easily pay that off, but they rested Paul George in that Brooklyn game, and then he didn't play the game before that. This is a tougher matchup against Denver. They play slow. I don't know if I want to pay 95 for Kawhi today. Jimmy Butler 78 is going to be the guy that I go to against OKC. He is considerably cheaper. He's also been playing great. I missed some games with believe a foot injury, and then came back and shut up T.J. Warren against the Pacers, held him to just 12 points. Butler didn't have the best offensive game, but he had an all-around good performance with 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 stocks. That's what Butler does. You count on him to get some blocks and steals, especially steals, and he's done that. Multiple steals in 3 straight games. It's against an OKC team that he had a good game earlier in the year. Almost had a triple double against them, and he's at a good price point. So feel good about paying 7,800 for Jimmy Butler. Then you have Robert Covington at 6,400 or 6,800. Without Westbrook today, he plays minutes. He just shoots a lot of threes. If they fall, it's great. If not, then you're gonna have to hope that he gets his steals, which he has been doing because he's also a good defender. But 68, you're gonna need him to have a good game. If he has like a terrible game, then it's gonna really kill you. I think that Al Horford at 6,400, without assuming Embiid doesn't play in this one again, looks good. Even if Embiid is in, you could play him because he might start alongside Embiid. But I don't think Embiid will play today, which means Horford will get the center minutes. And it's against the Toronto team that they're going to need his size out there. Was just in foul trouble against Portland, which is why he only played 22 minutes, but was decent. Put up 31 and a half fantasy points. Gave him like 8 more minutes. He could have easily gotten 40 plus fantasy points. So Horford at that price point looks pretty solid. And then you have not interested in Gallinari. Just watching the Thunder, they have just not liked to play Gallinari minutes against Memphis. They were missing so many bodies, and he only played 19 minutes. I know that game was a blowout, but he barely played in the second half. And then you have him only playing 25 against the Lakers, 22 against Washington, played 29 against Denver. But it's not liking what I'm seeing out of Gallinari right now with how they're using him. They might just be saving him for the playoffs, or they might not just. They just might not be liking. They might like Darius Bazley more, and Bazley's been playing great. And then for like cheap plays here, you have like $3,000 for some of these Pacers guys if they do indeed rest some of their starters. You have Jakar Sampson at 3,000. You have Miles Turner at 6,600. If he's out, then I would assume in this small ball lineup you could probably see Jakar Sampson man the 5. So assuming that does happen, I will probably play Jakar Sampson at power forward at the min price salary if he does start at center today. And then I'd go Horford at center. And then for a 5,700 left for 3 positions, I like Goran Dragic. 53. I'll probably see good minutes out of him again. If indeed Kendrick Nunn is out, even if Nunn is in, Dragic's been playing so much better than Nunn, who's been struggling. So he's been earning some more minutes, and he's got a really good price point. So that is it for DraftKings. Now, this is obviously under the assumption that the Pacers are resting some of their guys. If not, then follow on Twitter if you want to get the updates. But that's it for DraftKings, and then I will go ahead and touch on Fanduel. Ready, over on Fanduel point guard, we have 77 for Chris Paul, decent price tag. We have 6. Chris Paul also was like the only starter that didn't rest in the last game. We could see him get the day off today, but we'll see. And then you have 69 for Kyle Lowry. That's a good price point. 65 for Jamal Murray. Looks great. 55 for Dragic. And then we have like Aaron Holiday down to 4,000. He looks good anyways with no TJ Warren, and then assuming that Brogdon and Oladipo rest, it's going to be tough not to play him. Shooting guard, it's going to be James Harden, 10-8. Looks tremendous. Then you got 3 guys right here. You could pick your poison, Butler, George, and SGA. I'd probably go Butler, George, and then SGA. SGA's been the most disappointing so far. Paul George has been playing good, but playing alongside Kawhi, and now the Lou Williams minutes have gone up. It's going to be tough for him. And then Jimmy Butler he just mans the show in Miami, so I like him the most. You have Josh Richardson down to 5,200. Could see him play, he's going to play 30 plus minutes. And then not anybody else that I'm really going crazy over as a cheap play. Maybe Ben McLemore's down to 3,900, but Eric Gordon is back for this one, so he's going to cut into some of his minutes. And then small forward, we have Kawhi Leonard at 87. It's a much more tolerable price tag, especially looking at this position. Tobias at 74 looks great. No Simmons, potentially no Embiid. I will go ahead and put him in there. And then for value at this position, not a lot. Really, there's like nothing that looks good. So not anybody below 4,000. I mean, Gordon, who knows how many minutes he's going to play and how, so you could take a shot if you want with him. And over at power forward, we have Michael Porter, the most expensive guy, 7,900. And you have Bam Adebayo, 78. Adebayo is a good price point. Now that he's getting Butler back in there, him and Butler have played well together this entire season. I do not mind at all playing Adebayo at that price point. A small forward, I mentioned that there's no cheap plays, but if the Pacers do indeed rest everybody, then you got some min-priced options. You have Dakar Sampson, 3,500. He would be the guy that I go to, or maybe Justin Holiday. Probably also cheap. He might be a shooting guard on Fanduel. Back to power forward, I like Adebayo a lot. I like Covington. Horford looks tremendous at 6,200. Noel, if Adams misses another game, and if Noel's in, obviously, would be good. Now, I'm not that interested in anybody else. So I will go ahead and put in Al Horford at 6,200. Then over at center, we have Embiid at 88. That would be like a tremendous bargain if he is indeed in. But hopefully we'll get that news before 4. And then Nikola Jokic only played for like 20-something minutes. As a starter's kind of only played 25 minutes against the Lakers. Only put up 21 fantasy points. I mean, you're going to need him to play at least 30 minutes usually. That was coming off the game. The game before that, they had a double overtime. So probably why. If Adams is in at 6,000, he looks tremendous. Just because there's not that many other center options. If Embiid misses, then you have Jokic, Adams. I don't think Turner is going to play today. So then it just dies off. So we'll see how this position shakes out. Right now, I'm just going to probably just hope that Steven Adams plays. If not, then I can pivot to like Nikola Jokic and then go down at some other position. But right now, that's just my assumption because there's not everybody's like questionable at center on FanDuel. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You can drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.